Hello everyone, thank you so much for coming out tonight. Now before I get into what I'm going to be talking about, I want to see with a show of hands how many of you have performed in some way on a stage. Sung a solo, played an instrument. Okay, that's pretty much all of you. So tonight I'm going to show you some techniques that you can use to prepare for singing on stage in front of an audience. Now, I've been singing for a very long time. I've been taking lessons for a long time. And I hope that you can learn a few things from this. And even if you don't sing, I still think that you can take some of these techniques away with you if you ever have to be on a stage for some reason. Now, first we're going to discuss the anxiety that comes with performing. And then we're going to talk about some good breathing techniques you could use and the right, correct posture that you should have. And then lastly, we're going to go over 2 simple warm-ups. Okay, so anxiety. According to Mark Bosnian, this is a famous voice coach, I went on his site and he said that there was a survey done, and the survey pretty much proved that public speaking and singing in front of an audience were people's #1 fears, along with dying. Now that's pretty intense. Now when people have anxiety, what are some of the symptoms that you feel when you have anxiety? First, your palms get sweaty. Right, you feel like your heart's about to beat out of your chest. You almost feel like you can't think straight. I remember one time I had to sing in Los Angeles, and I was so nervous that I literally thought that I was going to pass out. And the way that I conquered it was I sat down, put my hand on my chest, put my hand here, and I closed my eyes, and I breathed very slowly, and I forced myself to count from 10 to 0 as slow as I could. And any time that negative thoughts would come into my mind of like, you're going to fail, you're going to embarrass yourself, I made myself go back to 10 and start over again. And it took me a long time, but I finally did it until only what I heard in my voice were the
another as far as eliminating anxiety right before you go on stage.
So you mean if you're right about to go on stage and you're extremely anxious?
Yeah.
And you don't have that much time to really calm your body down? Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm. Like, is there any technique that you prefer over another in that situation?
It's kind of hard to, you can't do it within a matter, if you can, because you literally, like, it's like going from panic mode to calm mode. It takes time to literally calm your body down. And sometimes, like, I've gone on stage before where I felt like I was about to throw up. I was so nervous. And the number one way that got me through it was actually singing and hearing, okay, this isn't that bad. And after the first few notes, then I'm like, all right, I can do this. Does that make any sense?
That makes sense.
So I might not be able to make all the anxiety go away immediately, but as I'm singing, I can tell myself, it's all right to be confident. You didn't crack yet. You didn't mess up yet. And then once I hear myself, I'm like, all right, I sound pretty good. Then I get more confidence as I go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But if
verbally reassuring yourself.
Yeah, if someone starts off with a really bad note, or if they start off bad, it's really hard for them to get back on their feet and to be confident the rest of the time. So it's really important to start off as best as you can, so you can have confidence as you go. And not second guess yourself. Danielle?
Sometimes does the nervous energy help you to project more?
No.
No?
Absolutely not. The nervous energy will do the opposite. And this was something I was going to talk about, but I didn't, because I didn't think I had enough time, because you could talk about this for hours. People try to, if they think they're going flat, or if they're nervous, they try to compensate by going louder and more like powerful, and that's the worst thing you can do, because you're going to make it sound like you're singing at your audience, and you're not using your voice as an instrument. You're just trying to compensate for fear. You know what I mean? So the number one way to sing the best is to be 100% relaxed and to be in control. And never let the anxiety get the best of you. Because the second you let anxiety get an inch, it has the potential to literally just take all of you, and then you can't even function. So it's really important to get that under control. And if you can't get it under control, then fake it. That's what I've learned. If you are scared to death, just fake it. And then before you know it, you're going to be like, okay, I've faked this long enough, I've pretty much fooled everyone, and then your anxiety is just going to go away on its own, because you're going to already prove to yourself. But you have to start off with faking confidence, and you have to pretend like you're not scared in front of people.
You mentioned these exercises to help anxiety performing, but would these singing exercises also help anxiety in general, because it involves
Yes. If you're having an anxiety attack of any kind, and you feel like you just can't calm down, you feel that feeling in the pit of your stomach, you're going to throw up,
just start singing.
Just start singing, but the 10 to 0 really, really helps, because it's like you're forcing your brain to just cut off all negativity. And it's almost like I'm not going to think positive, I'm just going to think, I have to first train my brain to think nothing.
Yeah.
Just think nothingness, only hear the numbers. And you have to count very slowly. So if you could at least get 20 seconds of thinking nothing, then you're already going to be calming your body down. And it's going to help. So, it helps. All right, thank you.